So today is March 31st, 2026, and this is today's trade breakdown. So right off the back, I'm on NASDAQ on the 5-minute time frame, and right off the back, you see that price is just consolidating. It's going up, well, it's going down, up, down, up. It's moving sideways. It's not uptrending and it's not downtrending, right? So I'm marked up this high right here, so like that I can know, okay, when price passes this high, that means it broke this this resistance. It broke that structure that price kept bouncing off from, right? Also, I saw this demand right here of this area, right? Just because in general price broke this high right here with this little wick, but it didn't fully close above, so it's still a little sketchy demand, so I would not taking that. And also 3 MAs are underneath price, so that indicates that the momentum is kind of pushing price up, right? But as you can see, price has been consolidating, so I was expecting for price to come back down here at least, or just break through this resistance and give us a new indication. So from here we're just waiting, right? Session started at 8, price broke this high, right? And I was just waiting for price to come back down and touch this demand zone, or create a new demand zone and actually give me a more solid break of structure. So that's what we was waiting on, right here price started creating this, boom, and it basically broke this recent high right here, right? So this high already got broken, right? This was the last high right here, and price broke that, right? And we also have a little gap starting from this black candle all the way down here to this wick. That's another demand. It's a tiny demand in between the big move, just because price right here came up, came down aggressively, and then came up, breaking this recent high, breaking structure, right? And right here it created a gap. Plus 3 MAs are underneath, lining up correctly. So from here we were just waiting to see, okay, where's price going to come back to? Is price going to come back to this demand zone and reject off of it and continue, or price going to come back to this demand zone all the way in the bottom, where support is at, and price been bouncing off from, to then continue going up, right? So from here we're just waiting for price to do something. Bam. Here price hit our zone, our first zone. So right off the back, I already sent it up to the group chat. I was like, okay, right here I'm looking in for buys. My stop loss was roughly around this area, and the next break of candle high that breaks the candle high, the recent candle high, will be my entry. Right on this candle we got our entry. My 1-to-1 was roughly in this area, and then my 1-to-2 target, which is my second target, which is where I'm normally holding my full trade to, was this area, right? So right off the back, I'm already in the trade, so I already deleted that zone, and this is the zone that we're taking, because price came down to the zone, filled in the gap, is rejecting off the zone, 3 MAs are lined up underneath, price came up and broke the recent candle high, and that was our entry confirmation right there. So from here we were just waiting. Also, if I go to the 1 hour, right, I go to the 1 hour, I can see right here that this is another high that price could potentially break, right? Because price came down, came up, came down, broke structure, and now it's kind of coming back up, and it could potentially come all the way up and break this high on the hour time frame and create a new trend, right? So from here we're just waiting, but I already had that marked up just in case, like if I were to leave a runner, close out 80% of my position right here, and I was thinking, okay, I'm about to leave a runner, I'm about to close out 80% of my trade and profits at my second target, and then leave 20% of the trade remaining and running all the way up to this target. So that was my thinking at the time when this was going on, right? So from here we're just waiting. right? Price ended up consolidating a little bit, start pushing. Then we got 9:30 coming up. The New York Stock Exchange open after this candle. Let me see. Yeah, after this candle. And I was thinking, okay, I'm either gonna close out this trade or stay holding for the New York Stock Exchange open, because usually that's when momentum picks up and price will go up or down, either hit my TP or hit my stop loss, and we're done for the day. So I decided to stay holding during the New York Stock Exchange open, and this is what happened. Bam. Price ended up pushing up, hit my first target, and went above, almost hitting my second target. So right here we were just holding. Price ended up coming down with the next candle, almost coming to break even, and then started closing. It closed all the way up here, so that was a good indication showing that price is rejecting and doesn't want to go down. Right here, boom, price came up and surpassed my 1 to 2. It hit my 1 to 2 target, so I closed out 80% of the trade, and I stayed holding 20% of the trade. But where I messed up was I had my stop loss at break even, right when price hit my 1 to 2 target, and once I closed out 80%, I moved my stop loss over here. So what happened? This candle ended up coming back down, bam, and hit my stop loss and literally stopped me out. Literally stopped me out. So therefore, I made not my original amount. I made like $100 less from my original amount that I was, aiming for. But hey, a win is a win. And then turns out, if I would have just left my stop loss at break even and left the runner and not move my stop loss to secure the most profits off the runner, price ended up bam pushing back up. Like, bro, you don't understand. That's crazy, right? Price ended up pushing back up with the next candle as soon as it stopped me out, and then bam, hit that high that I had marked up on the hour time frame, right? And basically broke that high, kind of like I predicted, and or I anticipated that would happen, And honestly, this would have been a nice 1 to 4 trade. That would have been a nice 1 to 4. I basically made like $900 on this trade, and if that 1 to 4 would have hit, I would have made $2,000 on this trade setup. And yeah, man, that was basically it. I ended up getting out, making a little bit less than my usual, because this was supposed to be $1,000 day, but I made $900 just for closing out 80% at 1 to 2, and then the rest of the 20% got stopped out at 1 to 1, which I only made like $100 extra on that, which equaled to $900 profit for the day, which is not bad, because yesterday we took a loss, so that covers yesterday's loss plus a little bit of like $300 profit for today. So overall we up $300 for the week, which is valid. We still got 2 more days left for the week. Today was the last day of March, and yeah, we still got 2 more trading days left for the week. I'm not trading Fridays. I don't trade NFP Fridays. We do got a lot of news coming up this week too, because NFP week, but I don't trade NFPs on Fridays because I try to avoid all that, man. And price honestly be faking out on Fridays a lot for me, for my strategy at least, so I avoid Fridays. But today was a good win. Today was a good win. We made up for yesterday's loss, plus made some profit on top of today, even though we could have made a little bit more if I would have just trusted my analysis and hold the trade, and price would have ended up hitting a 4 to 1. But I'm satisfied with closing out at my second target, because that's how my trading plan is established, to always close out at 1 to 2 target. And if I'm able to hold a runner, but since price been choppy and very like market conditions this whole month has been trash due to like this whole war that's going on with United States and Israel and Iran, and the market's been cooking me. The market has been cooking me this past 3 weeks. So I was like, okay, prices at my 1 to 2, I'm closing out, because I'm not expecting price to continue going all the way up to 1 to 4, especially since market conditions these past 3 weeks been garbage. So let me just secure what I got, what the market gives me. Let me secure what the market gave me and call it a day. But I did want to leave it running because I had I believe that, okay, this trade has the potential to actually continue going further into more profit, and we could maximize the most out of the winning trade. But since market conditions were iffy, that's why I closed out 80% on my 1 to 2, decided to hold. Price came down, rejected and stopped me out, and then ended up doing what I anticipated it would do. But at the end of the day, you can't control the markets. You can only control your execution and getting in and out the trade. At the end of the day, it was still a good day. We made money. The people in the Discord, that's in the Discord, they made money. Whoever caught this trade. And yeah, man, that's today's trade breakdown. We just got back from Miami too, from the site and McLaren's fight that was happening. It was a whole movie. If you haven't seen my reel, go to my Instagram, Lunati Exchange, like the reel, like, comment, and support your boy, follow. And yeah, man, so that's today's trade breakdown. It was fairly quick. I just wanted to break this down real quick. Got some other stuff I'm about to go handle right now. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Till next time.